Hello, everyone, and welcome to the As Seen on TV podcast for Once Upon a Time in Wonderland, Season 1, Episode 3, Forget Me Not. I'm your host, Dom. With me, I have Omikins.
Yo.
Miss Clio.
Hello.
And Michael.
Oh, we're using my full name now. What are you, my mother?
Yes, Michael.
Okay,
You're
Mom.
not special.
Michael Myers.
I never thought. Oh, then I am special.
How are you guys tonight?
Very
Good.
good.
Quite well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about you guys, but this has probably been my favorite episode of Wonderland thus far.
So far, yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
There's
Yeah,
a
no,
lot of tie-ins back into Once Upon a Time, tie-ins with the Wonder, like everything just kind of really meshed well, and I loved it. Loved
I
it.
hope they keep doing that, to be honest.
It seems like they're full force now. They can't stop. Miley Cyrus is probably writing for them.
No.
Red cups and sweaty bodies everywhere.
That would be better than Miley writing.
So, how about that caterpillar? We finally got to
Yeah.
meet the caterpillar tonight, or not tonight, but this last week.
And his
He's-
many hands.
He reminds me of Jabba the Hutt.
Jabba the Hutt. He had a
Yeah.
very Jabba vibe to him, yeah.
Yeah.
He's sitting there smoking opium, and
Not
yeah, he did have
moving.
a Jabba feel, like black market underworld crime boss sort of thing.
And he wanted Alice at his side in a skimpy
this-
bikini.
Yeah, Metal Bikini Alice. Where was that?
I forgot who I was watching it with, but we said the same thing and how like what's his name? What's his name was Han Solo. Will.
Will
Was Han Solo.
Will Scarlet.
Will Scarlet. Ah!
Hey, at one point in this episode, there was a direct Star Wars reference.
There was. I didn't catch it.
Oh.
They're folding through their book looking for a monster to sick on Alice, and it's like, how about the Sarlacc? That'll digest her slowly over 1,000 years. And I was
10,000
like,
years.
I thought,
A
yeah, okay.
millennia.
I thought
A
they said
millennia.
that.
and I was like, holy crap, it's the and
Yes.
you know, that's what it was, the mighty Sarlacc.
Yep, I definitely remember that. I actually had like this moment where I was like, "Oh my god, Sarlacc!" I really wanted to see the Sarlacc.
Well,
Oh, that would have been
ABC,
cool.
but think about it, ABC,
And it's part of the Disney universe.
right, because ABC, Disney, and now Star Wars is owned by Disney, so
That makes so much sense.
I'm gonna get completely off track here, but this just got me even more excited for Kingdom Hearts 3 because the fact that they're able to put this kind of stuff and references into their TV series proves that they have the rights to use it outside of the Star Wars universe. So
Yeah.
we should probably be seeing some Star Wars in Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah.
And they can do it.
Mentioning the Sarlacc is not proof that they have rights to it. You can mention it and not have rights to
they have
It's
rights to it, though. It's
Yeah.
the same
no,
company.
But, no, I know, but just
It's not the fact that they can do that. It's what they can do it so that, I wasn't paying attention. I wouldn't have caught it if he didn't say anything. But they can do it so it's actually nice and be like, "Oh, they did that? Wow."
I'm with Dom here. I just want Kingdom Hearts 3. Like in the first or second one where you go into the arena and one of the final bosses is Sephiroth from FF7. You just go into the arena and all of a sudden it's just Darth Maul walks through a portal and it's like, I'm fucked.
we're all
Yeah.
dead. We're all gonna die.
That would be amazing. So the caterpillar clearly stated that he wanted Alice as a sex slave, like basically, like not as a sex slave so to speak, but it was implied. But so, what do you guys think is? It doesn't seem like there's an actual form of currency in Wonderland, and the caterpillar is kind of hinting at that as his currency. So, what do you guys think? Is it all underworld trading like Star Wars, or are they on the credits system?
I don't
Yeah.
think there's any money. The currency is whatever the caterpillar freaking pleases, basically. If he wants it and you have it, he'll trade you for it. He'll make a deal.
There's definitely all sorts of shady stuff going on. I don't know if any of you ever watched Alice, the sci-fi miniseries,
No, I haven't.
but
No.
it's really good. You should watch it. But they traded in emotions. Like that was
Oh,
the
I
black
did
market.
watch that.
That was the black market thing, was emotions.
I was at your place when that was on TV, so yeah, I did watch it.
Yeah, I love that adaptation of Alice in Wonderland. And I just get that very underworld vibe from that whole bar scene.
Yeah, I see in our chat, information is money. And you know what? That is right. The caterpillar does seem like an information broker. So really, any kind of info or anything is really valuable to him. It's just whatever he deems.
I think it's more power is money than anything, and be it information or magical items.
But still, to Omi's point, I don't think there is an overarching currency in Wonderland.
No.
It doesn't seem like they're that formally set up there.
Yeah. What about the voice of the caterpillar? You guys know who the voice was?
Iggy Pop.
I looked that up. I was like, oh, he has an interesting voice. Who is it? Iggy Pop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't expecting that.
Well, okay then.
Did you guys know that King Koopa's child in Super Mario Brothers 3, Iggy Koopa, was also named after Iggy Pop?
Yes, that I knew.
He's getting
Yeah.
references everywhere. This guy's in everything.
He's Iggy Pop.
Everywhere.
He is. He's right behind you right now, Umi.
Oh.
Oh wait, no,
This
that's
is
just David
behind me.
Bowie.
David Bowie.
I can see you behind me. I know he's not there. Who are you?
Hmm.
No. But speaking of voices, we found out who the shadow was going to be too.
Yes.
That's not even in this Once Upon a Time, but
I'm still saying.
say it.
It's a voice. It's going to happen.
Yeah. It's pretty safe to say if you watch Once Upon a Time in Wonderland, you watch Once Upon a Time.
Point taken.
Yes. So the big reveal was none other than
Marilyn Manson.
"This is Halloween. This is Halloween."
What?
He sings the cover of the.
He sings the
Nightmare.
cover.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh god, Goblin King in Wonderland. Yes, and if they got David
Wait.
Bowie.
Oh, yes.
No.
I'm sorry. I thought you meant the Hobbit Goblin King. Both,
Oh
yes.
God.
Yes. Yes.
Umi
to both.
would not watch the show anymore.
anymore.
She would
He's
totally
so
stop watching the show. So all right, so
Yeah, if
we
they
had
got David Bowie to play the Goblin King. Sorry.
we had some creatures. So you said we had the Sarlacc was mentioned.
Mhm.
There was the Bandersnatch, which was very famous from the Alice books. But what was the other one? There was a third, wasn't there? Does anybody remember?
No.
Every time I think of Alice in Wonderland, I think of the Jabberwocky, but that wasn't mentioned.
Yeah, man.
No.
I was waiting for them to say Jabberwocky.
Yeah.
And they did.
Yeah.
They'll get to it. They got a whole season.
I'm trying to
Of
think now
course.
what that was. If there was a reference to that somewhere, but I honestly can't remember what it was.
I was too distracted by the Sarlacc
Yeah, the Sarlacc
reference.
caught me
And
off
then
guard.
all of a sudden, Bandersnatch, that the word always makes me go like, ah.
Yeah. So the Bandersnatch, they're sitting. They have Cyrus sitting in the cage, and the Queen, the Red Queen, and Jafar are sitting down at the table, and they're discussing their plans. They're going through the book. They're trying to pick it up, and Cyrus kind of cringes at the Bandersnatch. So they're like, "I picked this one. This is the one." And so the Bandersnatch gets sent out after Alice and the Knave of Hearts, and they just happen to be looking for the Forget-Me-Not, which is this magical item where they can see through and find out whatever happened, whatever they see through in the last thing that happened in the room or the area that they're looking through. So they wanted to try to find out who stole the lamp from the hole. So they're on their quest to get that, and the caterpillar informs them that it's at the Grindle's house. So this is where we first meet the Grindle. They're talking about how you always have to be one step ahead of your opponent or your enemy or whatever. And then next thing you know, they fall through a trap in the ground. They get locked in his house. So Grendel is kind of like the first villainy creature that we meet, other than the Cheshire Cat, that we've already seen. But he's like the first one that we meet in Wonderland. Is he related to the one from the Beowulf poem, or?
It's immediately what I thought. I mean,
That's, what came to mind. That's the only, Grendel I know of that is famous in any kind of literature and stuff like that.
Yeah. Chat is asking if Grendel is Gaston. No, he's not. Actually, it's not the same actor. And Once Upon a Time isn't a show known for just switching actors, so it's
Right.
not Gaston.
Yeah. No, they said like they're very adamant that they will not switch the uh Mad Hatter out, so they're not going to switch somebody like Gaston.
Yeah.
So,
Although, good theory.
yeah.
Yeah.
I actually had to stop for a minute. I was like, maybe it is. And then when you
Yeah,
mentioned that, I was like, no, we've seen Gaston
Because he
before.
does have that kind of royalty
Sort of look
straight
to him.
soldier look, yeah.
Yeah, but the Grendel definitely made me think of Beowulf, and I mean, he's a monster that eats people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what more can you piece together there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Grendel, he's just like, he's basically revealed he's this lonely guy. He the whole reason why he's holding on to the Forget-Me-Not in the first place is his wife died, and he's looking at his wife sitting at the table, and I guess he's in there when he was a human. Not quite sure. Was it ever explained how he became such a...
Yeah, the Red Queen turned him
Creature.
into it.
Yeah, she cursed him when he stole the Forget-Me-Not.
So he stole it. Did
Pretty
he
sure.
steal it from her or from the caterpillar? Because I thought the caterpillar was in possession of it.
Pretty sure it was the Red Queen who did it. They mentioned the Red Queen
Yeah.
being
It was-
behind it.
Definitely her
Because-
who cursed him.
It was the caterpillar was just pretending to have it. I think the caterpillar likes people to think he has more than he actually has.
Right. Okay. So it's revealed he's just kind of like this lonely guy, and he kind of eventually sees where he went wrong when the Nave saves him from Bandersnatch. What you guys think about that? Like, do you think he was actually able to be redeemed at that point?
I think it was more or less
Grendel?
that,
Yes,
yeah,
the
the
Grendel.
the Grendel, because of the Bandersnatch and the ruckus in that room, where the Forget-Me-Not was, the memories of his wife was erased because it's the last thing that happens in that moment that the Forget-Me-Not sees. So he just kind of like it snapped in his mind, like, why am I hanging around here? This is stupid. I'm just gonna move on and bawl my eyes out. He's pretty much stuck now because the memory of his wife is gone because of he not just sees the ruckus that happened with that ugly fucking pig.
Yeah.
Bandersnatch.
And while they were trying to get free in there, Alice was very adamant that she would not use her wishes unless it absolutely came down to that fact. What are your guys' opinion? Because I thought it was actually pretty clever. She's like, oh, you told me to use one of my wishes. He's like, you used one of your wishes? She goes, no, they have sharp edges. They're good for other things too. So, but she's very adamant that she will not actually use these wishes. Like, why do you think that is? Like, do you like the fact that she's not just using them all willy-nilly? She's been holding on
Yeah.
to them for so long. Couldn't she just wish for Cyrus back?
She could, but there is a consequence to that. If she wishes him back, maybe somebody else will take his place that matters to her, or she wishes him back, but she ends up in the cage instead. And if she were just to use the wishes whenever wanted, she'd have none left.
Yeah.
So she's got to be adamant that she's not going to use them so that things work out properly.
She also knows that the Red Queen has the bottle, and if she uses all her wishes, Cyrus goes back into the bottle and comes under control of the Red Queen.
She
Well, she
didn't.
don't-
She did
She
that.
just found that out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she-
Yeah,
didn't
which
know
sure,
that.
well, now she knows that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Whoops. So we get a little more backstory on the Nave, and we see he is Will Scarlet from Robin Hood's Merry Men, which kind of took me by a little bit of surprise. I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
I didn't realize what his last name was,
I squeed.
and then when I found out, I was like, whoa. That's
Yeah.
very interesting.
That was
in terms of Robin Hood, that's like Little John's best friend, right?
As far as I
And
know.
Not
I'm
on
not
that
sure about
list.
that, but he's definitely one of the merry men.
Mhm.
He's always portrayed as, being with Little John in multiple, like, in Men in Tights, and then another Robin Hood portrayal that they're always, like Little John and Will Scarlet are always together
Yeah.
for some reason.
Well, there wasn't that much backstory as how, like, it showed him joining the Merry Men in that episode. So you didn't really get to see any of the interactions between the other Merry Men and Will, other than Robin Hood. And then, they go straight to Maleficent's castle after they heist a carriage with gold goblets or something. So, I mean, you're not too sure what his affiliation is in the Merry Men other than being a new member.
Right. So, like, the whole point of the Merry Men was, steal from the rich, give to the poor, yada yada. It's the same basic concept that we're used to from the stories. So, but what was interesting to me is they only went after actual gold. They wanted nothing to do with magical items. Like, they completely steered away from them. And Will gets this great idea to go to my ex-wife's castle and up in the mountains up there. And I was like, why would you? She's got some nasty dragon breath. Like, why would you even want to go into that castle? But then it was revealed in Maleficent, she's not home. She's not expected to be back anytime soon. And he kind of convinces Robin Hood to go in there. They go in specifically to loot this box of supposedly endless gold and whatnot. And then Will sets his eye on this little mirror and pockets it and comes back. So he is branded as a thief now by Robin Hood's standards. So if that made him a thief there, what do you think he did in Wonderland that could actually be so bad, make him such a wanted man?
It is possible because of the Red Queen. And we know that they have a connection, that when she got her power, she decided to spread rumors because she's a heartless whore. What are these words coming out of my mouth? Oh my god, that's twice now. But yeah, she's just mean. So she'd take it out on him.
Well, I mean, there's a whole chunk of information we're missing. We don't know why the Red Queen becomes the Red Queen. We don't know why they split up. It's a bunch of information we don't have, and I think that they wanted to go to Wonderland for a new start, and I think whatever they were expecting wasn't what happened. So I think Will fell back on stealing and
that's true.
stuff because they have to end up in Cora, the Queen of Hearts court, because he becomes the neighbor.
Yeah,
and the Red Queen sort of learns her stuff from Cora. At least that is my guess, also hinted at by the creators at the panel that I saw at Comic-Con. So there's a whole chunk of stuff we just don't know yet.
So did you guys see Anastasia being the Red Queen? Did you guys see that coming?
I totally called that.
I did not.
At the beginning of the episode, I was like, yes, Anastasia has to be the Red Queen because I don't see any connection to the Romanoff Anastasia at all. Even though it would have been interesting. It would have been interesting.
She still could be that Romanoff Anastasia. My mom, her theory is that somehow the Romanoff Anastasia ends up in the Enchanted Forest and then ends up as the Red Queen.
Well, Rasputin was supposedly, a sorcerer
like that's
of
her
some
progression
kind.
of story.
So
I think it's still
yeah.
I think that's still a possibility that she is actually that Anastasia.
But as far as the calling it part, Omi called it, and then when you see Will going back to his house, like, I'm in, don't wake up, whatever, and it shows an anonymous naked blonde woman in his bed, and as soon as they didn't show her face, I was like, yep, definitely, you're right, because if it was another character, they would have no problem with showing her face.
Yeah, well, I knew something was up as soon as you didn't see her face. So I was like, who is it? But I didn't necessarily know that it was her. My mind is racing into people from Once Upon a Time. And I'm trying to go, who were the blondes that... I go, it's not going to be...
Not Cinderella.
No, it's not going to be Cinderella. It's not going to be Emma. Like, I'm sitting there, I'm trying to go through it. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. And then when they revealed at the end that it was the Red Queen, I was just like, dumbfounded in the sense that how did I not see that coming?
I don't know.
So, yeah. So the mirror that Will took was revealed to be the Looking Glass.
Yes.
So the Looking Glass is showed that it's a portal into Wonderland, which kind of fits what we already know about Alice's return to Wonderland in the sequel novel Through the Looking Glass. So, but it was I believe it was a bigger mirror that she actually stepped into. So they modified it slightly. It was like this little handheld mirror that created a portal. But how do you think Anastasia / the Red Queen even knew about Wonderland in the first place? She seemed to know he goes, "Where are we going?" She goes, "To Wonderland."
Place filled with magic and all that. Yeah, where did she find out about that?
I mean, there are people in the Enchanted Forest who know about it.
Yeah.
She found out from someone. Like, Maleficent obviously knew because she had the mirror.
Yeah.
Um,
Maybe Anastasia's linked to Maleficent somehow. And
Yeah.
she's doing all this on purpose. Just to cause a little ruckus.
Sisters.
Not sisters, maybe like a niece or her daughter.
So this is
Relative.
gonna
No.
stepdaughter. This is gonna be Cinderella / Snow White all over again.
Sure. I don't know. It could go anywhere. They really, obviously, that's the only thing we know about it is that she knew. We don't know who she was before the Red Queen. We knew she was Anastasia, but we don't know where she got her information from or anything.
Right. Do you think she has other plans with Will and the Looking Glass?
You could totally tell. She knows about Wonderland. She knows about the Looking Glass before it even gets thrown on the ground. So she's obviously already got a plan in her head of what's going to happen. Well, it's
Or-
just collateral damage.
It may be that, or, at that point, she could just want to go to Wonderland to get away. I mean, if you think about it, if she is the Romanoff Anastasia, and she is from, as we will put it, the real world, and she wound up in the Enchanted Forest somehow when her family was murdered, then, it's possible that she doesn't want to live there forever, and she hears about Wonderland, a place with all this magic and all this fun stuff, and decides, let's go there. So she could just innocently be looking for a new place to live and have no ulterior motives, whatever. And when they get to Wonderland, the hell was that? When they get to Wonderland, something happens to her that, makes her evil or changes her mind or things like that.
Yeah.
I think she was evil before we went in there, or before she jumped in, and she was just playing it off to Will.
That's
Because
also a possibility. So.
He's obviously a thief. He's able to steal the Looking Glass for her, and that was her ticket into Wonderland.
Yeah.
She was just playing him.
Yeah, definitely. So.
Chat says, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Chat says maybe Cora took her heart.
It's a possibility. Make her do whatever Cora wants.
Yeah.
Set her free, maybe.
Yeah, she could totally be playing the Red Queen, because Red Queen seems kind of heartless at this point, so I could totally see that.
We also don't know where in the timeline this falls. Cora could be dead already.
They said we're going to see Cora. They said we will see her in this, so
Okay.
in flashbacks at least, Cora will be alive, so it'll be at the point where she first enters Wonderland or something.
Wasn't there near the very beginning of the episode, wasn't there a few years back kind of, white text on a black screen thing?
A few years ago in the Enchanted Forest. Yeah.
A few years ago in the Enchanted Forest. So how does that work with the Wonderland timeline, and how does that...
Yeah, what is a few years?
Yeah, exactly.
What I want one of you to do, you guys ever watch Heroes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You remember how they had time travel all laid out on the string, the red string, and this event happened here, and this is where I changed this, and this new string for... I want one of you to do that for Wonderland Once Upon a Time. I want all the timelines. Find out when they all cross.
Yeah.
And then I want a picture of it.
Gonna have to scour the forums for that.
We're gonna make a timeline.
Yeah.
This is very, very, very reminiscent of Lost. So if you guys
Yeah.
have not checked out Lost by now, the show has been off the air for like 3 years. Go get it. Go find it. Download it. Whatever you got to do. Netflix, Hulu. Go watch it. This is the same thing that they do on that show.
Yeah.
Something
same writers.
something that you see in the very first episode is like the very last episode. It has like the most important part, like the last scene is something that you see in the first episode, and you're like, they had this plan from the very beginning. So
Yeah.
I'm getting that very big feel here from the timelines and everything, and now that they're doing it across multiple shows, it complicates it a lot more than it was on Lost, and it makes the interconnection a lot more interesting and whatnot. So definitely loving the show so far.
Oh yeah.
I like complicated things. I don't like very bland, cut and dry, tell you how it is, and that's the end of it. I like shows that make you think.
Oh yeah.
So we go back to after the Bandersnatch was defeated and the Grendel was redeemed and all that, and then as soon as the Bandersnatch dies, the Bandersnatch's mate, which the Red Queen also has, dies. And they said, and Jafar looked at it and was like, what was that? And she goes, well, when they mate for life, meaning that one died. So Jafar was kind of confused. He didn't know if Alice had killed it or what the case was. And then Cyrus kind of, they figured out Cyrus intentionally made them choose the Bandersnatch because that was what Alice was the most familiar with. She knew her opponent. Like that was the whole setup going to the Grendel in the first place. It stuck with her toward the end of the episode. So that whole thing. So Cyrus was the one who told her all about it. They were kind of mad. So it looks like Cyrus and Alice, even backed up against the wall, are more intelligent than the Red Queen and Jafar right now. So how do you think that's making them feel? And how frustrated do you think they are that Alice has not used the wish yet?
Very.
Inadequate.
It's a lot of rage. I think it's not necessarily that they're more smart. I think it's that the Red Queen and Jafar continually underestimate them.
They do.
They do, yeah, and that's gonna be a big, their big downfall in the end, I guess.
Yeah.
My question is, the Red Queen said that must mean Alice used a wish because the Bandersnatch dead, and Jafar just looks at his staff and goes, "No, I would know about it if she did." So, is all of his power come from his staff?
That's a good theory, which might be why he wants the wishes, because he wants more power. Because maybe without the staff, he's nothing.
It's possible that he has no magical ability whatsoever, and it's all coming from the staff.
Yeah.
And that's why he wants the wishes, so he can give himself some Dark One-like powers.
So does this mean that Dom has all the power right now because he has a staff?
Nice. Excellent.
I have all the power. All the power.
All of it.
All of it.
So, Alice and the Nave use the Forget-Me-Not that they recovered from the Grendel, and they use it on the site where the lamp was located, and it's revealed that the White Rabbit took the bottle and handed it to the Red Queen. Alice just feels completely betrayed. Do you think she understands why at this point?
No.
She has no clue why he took the bottle and gave it to the queen.
Because she accuses him of being selfish.
Mm-hmm.
She definitely, she's going to find out when, or why. It's only a matter of when.
Yeah.
Like, we already know that. But do you think it's something that she'll figure out on her own, or is it something that the rabbit's going to have to tell her?
I don't know if the rabbit will tell her. I think it might be a different character. Just through the grapevine, she just happens to find out through somebody else. But I think she is intelligent enough to figure it out on her own and be like, oh, the Red Queen's joshing him around. Something's up.
Yeah. Do you think she's ever going to be able to forgive the rabbit?
Oh, yeah.
She should. She tried to
Yeah.
kidnap him.
Yeah. She totally will because, you know, his family's on the line. And when she
Yeah.
finds that out, she's going to be like, she's going to feel sorry for him. And she's going to end up helping him.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So, the Nave cut the deal with the caterpillar that he was going to go retrieve the forget-me-not. He was going to use it for their little thing right there for finding out the lamp, and then they were going to return it. And it was going to wipe all debt that the Nave had to the caterpillar, and he was going to be a free man and all that. But Nave does not want to give the caterpillar any more power. And he burns the forget-me-not. What was that all about? Like, the forget-me-not did not seem like it was that powerful of an item. It was useful, but how
Well, it
often
just gives-
how often does the thing that happened in that spot change? Like, it just doesn't.
But
It's
it-
not like a window to any time you want. It's only the last thing that happened.
Mm-hmm.
But it's another thing the caterpillar would then have to trade for favors or trade for money or whatever. And it's remembering what Robin said to him and how he can be a better person if he does things for other people and not for himself.
But do you think that it was not necessarily to give the caterpillar more power, but it was to hide some agenda that he may not have wanted to be seen through the forget-me-not?
It's possible.
Yeah, it's very possible, but they'd have to be in a
know.
very specific location to see that hidden agenda.
Mm-hmm.
He might just be
Yeah, no.
protecting himself because he knows that he did a lot of stuff wrong and doesn't want that revealed to Alice.
There's
I
that,
think-
and, you know, his connection to the Red Queen. Obviously, nobody but him and her know that. Well, now Jafar knows, right?
That's your point now?
He's kind of, he suspects something. But I mean, maybe he wants to hide that.
That's
Because
possible.
I don't know.
Alice would be less likely to trust him if she knew that he was connected to the Red Queen, even in the past.
I think it felt more genuine to me. It felt like he didn't want to be a thief anymore.
It did feel genuine to me too.
So
I don't know. Could go either way.
we see Jafar going back to the bar. They're thinking it's the Nave that's returned. The sand in the hourglass is running out, and they go, oh, speaking of the Nave, and Jafar is revealed to be standing there in the bar, and he goes, oh, so you're waiting for the Nave. So Jafar basically is going to wait there. Do you think that Will and Alice are actually going to go back to the bar and tell the caterpillar that they burned the rope or did not retrieve the rope?
No.
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 They're not stupid.
So it just seems like Jafar is going to be waiting a very long time.
Or he's going to get some information
He's
out of
gonna
the
get-
caterpillar.
He's
Yeah.
just, and Jafar's one of those guys where that information, he's not going to pay for it. He's just going to get it. The
Good.
caterpillar has no power over Jafar, and Jafar's going to show him that, and he's just going to get all that information he needs. And he knows the Nave is connected. He's helping Alice. That, you know, that's probably where he's going to get to Alice is through the Nave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Totally see that. So, the next episode is called The Serpent.
Hmm.
This
Something to
seems
do with the
like
staff?
it's going to be all about this staff and the power that this staff has.
Yeah.
How he came into possession of the staff.
Yay.
That-
Flashbacks.
that's what I'm getting out of this. I don't know about
More
you guys.
Agrabah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that the same kind of feel you guys got from it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I actually didn't know the title of the episode until you just said it just now. So
Mm.
But it makes sense.
It makes
Yeah.
sense, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, serpent could mean dragon, right? But really, where does that fit in?
Maleficent,
Maleficent, yeah, but
my ex-girlfriend,
Wife.
ex-wife,
ex-wife,
future ex-wife. No,
your future ex-wife.
no, she's
Oh.
definitely not my future ex.
Past X.
Yeah,
Present X.
no, yeah,
So I guess
yeah.
maybe Maleficent, but I mean, she's not really that involved in either series right now.
Right.
I mean, she's mentioned, but I mean, yeah, the
Well, we
staff.
saw her in Once Upon a Time, and we heard her voice in.
Yes,
In
but
this
other
one.
than that, she's not like in the story. Like she's not one of these characters that are you see every episode.
That we know
She's
of.
mentioned here and there.
That we know of.
That we know of.
That we know of.
For all we know, Maleficent could be Mr. Gold's girlfriend, Belle.
Belle.
What?
No, because we did see her. We did see her human form in episode 1, or
Yeah.
episode 1, season 1 of Once Upon a Time, and she looked like she was blonde. I
Yeah,
keep
no.
thinking of Michelle Pfeiffer, but that's not her.
Pam from True Blood.
No,
Is
I'm
it?
just I'm
Yes.
just throwing in random names to get you guys thinking, but Omi had to go and spoil the fun by actually remembering what she looked like. So
Sorry.
So the synopsis for the serpent, it is revealed the knave is kidnapped by the Red Queen on the behalf of Jafar, who wants him publicly beheaded to serve as an example of what happens to anyone who helps Alice. Meanwhile,
Oh, for the heads.
the queen is hesitant to kill the knave since she's still in love with him, and flashbacks reveal the real reasons for wanting Cyrus's power.
Okay.
Jafar.
That's so heartbreaking.
We'll see.
Butterfree.
Butterfree. We talking
Meta
about
Knight.
Pokemon now? What's
just-
going on?
I
Just
can't believe it's not butter.
Butterfree.
Ah, he's so cute.
There's a Pokemon that's in front of me, along with Pretty Kitty number 1, Pretty Kitty number 2, and Head Pretty Kitty.
I think that one's a deer, but
Yeah.
okay.
I was
That's
just
a
gonna say
deer.
it doesn't look like a kitty.
That's a deer. They all look like kitties to me.
That's a cat. That's a cat. That's a cat.
You are clearly a cat,
Mhm.
says
Clearly.
the giraffe. Why, Mr. Kitty, what a long neck you have.
So, Miss White Rabbit, where can the people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at LadyVenom24, LadyVenom 24.
Clio, where can the people find you?
You can find me on most social media at Cliomoto, CLIOMOTO. And you can find me on YouTube at youtube.com/LIOSMFVIDS.
And cat lover extraordinaire, where can we find you?
Meow. Meow, meow, meow. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. Okay, you can find me on Twitter at Philodren, THILLADREN.
And you can find us on youtube.com/ASOTV podcast for more of your favorite TV show podcasts. Till next week, we'll catch you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.